Welcome back to the Arc. And today we are talking about a show that nobody really appreciates, but that I am glad that I made somebody who doesn't even care about anime watch. Odd Taxi.
It was because I had to make a devil's deal to have Nathan's girlfriend to watch Arcane.
Yes.
So I had to suffer for your entertainment.
Yes.
So you should appreciate this episode.
With
Extra appreciate this episode.
Yeah, this is one of those podcasts where it's like some bum adult watches anime for the first time kind of thing.
Yes.
Who hates it?
Well, I don't hate the show.
Well, you hate anime.
I mean, I do.
Even though you play Guilty Gear.
And Nier Automata. But move on.
How's the show?
Huh?
How was the show?
The show was fun. The show started off really dry.
Yeah, as most anime do, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's always a thing where, at least in my experience, there's exceptions, right? There's stuff like Attack on Titan and, actually, I can just think of Attack on Titan, where it starts off really strong.
Okay.
And people get hooked. But I actually find that if the show, general experience, for me first, and not all reviewers will be like this, but I actually find that if the show hooks me in the beginning, I get worried.
Because it might drop the ball.
It usually drops the ball.
Oh, okay.
It's usually a case of they put all their first chips.
Like Batman Beyond.
Yeah, actually, just like that. No, actually, think exactly Batman Beyond.
No.
You're like, God, this is amazing. This first set of episodes is great. And then it's like, getting less great.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is awful.
As
you keep going.
Okay.
Although with anime, they usually get canceled before they can make like four seasons of garbage.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, and then when it's kind of like but you can see they're building blocks, those usually tend to be like real good ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Odd Taxi definitely has a really slow build. I remember the first 2 or 3 episodes I was watching, I was comparing to you guys that it felt like I was watching sandpaper. It felt like you know how sandpaper rub on your skin? That's how dry it felt.
Yeah.
It was really dry.
Ken came in one day and he was just roasting the show. Because the deal was Odd Taxi for Arcane. So we ended up there was one day that he came over, I made food, and we ended up talking about Odd Taxi, and he was just roasting it. And then I was like, well, Arcane's really good.
Well, I wasn't roasting it. I was just saying how dry it was.
Yeah, like the chicken thing.
The chicken was not dry.
Yeah, the chicken was
not dry. It was very smoky.
Yeah, it was very smoky. But
related.
But like, I just thought it was funny because the first episodes of Arcane, we're going to be doing a lot of comparing the Arcane to things. Now that I think about it in these podcasts. But the first episodes of Arcane were also really boring.
It wasn't. It has the nice animations.
I mean, we talked about it. This episode was recorded after the Arcane podcast was recorded, in which Jesse said, like, hey, it's kind of slow. And I was like, yeah, it was kind of slow.
See, and I strongly disagreed with Jesse in the Arcane episode.
But for me, the first episodes, like, it was slow because I didn't care about Powder in the beginning. Not gonna lie. And I didn't care about Vi in the beginning.
Okay.
I hated Vi, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about her crew in the beginning.
Yeah.
But what kept me going was Vander. So was there anything like that in there?
Oh, for me, it was just, I came in with a blank state of mind. And just these are the characters. And I guess I didn't care enough to hate or like or dislike them. And that allowed me to.
Right.
But we're not here to talk about Arcane. With Odd Taxi. It's funny because your impression of Vi in the first episode of Arcane is kind of like my impression of the characters in the first episode.
Yeah, I remember you said you hated them, right?
Yeah, they're like feel uninspired or yeah.
We'll go into that. What made them feel uninspired?
So the first customer was this dude who was all about like social media and whatnot.
Yes.
And I mean, it was written to be hated, right?
Right.
But like every time he's on screen, I kind of want to look away because he makes me cringe really hard. And it's just they succeed in making me feel that the show is being obnoxious at me. It makes me not want to watch it. And the driver, Odogawa, or whatever his name is.
Odokawa.
Odokawa.
I'm not Japanese. I don't
Walrus guy.
Yeah. Otokawa. Yeah.
Yeah, the Walrus guy. So we talked about this offline too, but he's written in a way that to me feels very like the writers is telling me in my face about other characters' strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And you were saying that it's supposed to be showing that because of his experience of driving that he knows people a lot. But yeah, it came up to me like, hey, he's pointing out character flaws to my face. And I did not like that. I don't know. It feels too self-aware for me.
Uh-huh.
And then the monkey guy just lusty, horny, just
monkey.
The old monkey, like the.
The guy who wanted to bang a woman half his age.
Yeah. So he was also kind of uninspiring because he just kind of there to be like, I am kind of comic relief, but also not because I'm cringy. Yeah. The doctor is fine, and the his assistant. I mean, they didn't go into his assistants in the first episode, so they're those two are also fine.
Right.
And that kind of chemistry carried through to the second and third episode, where each character just kind of like.
When did it change?
I think it changed when they started going more into the plot about. I can't remember.
It was like a murder mystery.
Yeah, it was a murder mystery.
The idea was there was somebody who went missing.
Yeah.
And then there's a string of murders.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yep.
And
was there a string of murders, or was it? No, it's just the.
There was a few.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird because the thing I like about it is there's a bunch of different things happening.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a string of murders. There's a missing girl.
Mm-hmm.
There is a secret scandal with the idol group.
Yeah.
And then there's all the different side plots. Right. That's the main plot.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
The murder mystery is the main plot.
Quote unquote.
Right.
Because the idea
kind of ties back together.
Well, the show isn't really trying to. The plot is more like a hook.
Yeah.
But the point of the show is clearly like to show this city. And how everyone's lives are connected. It's going for just kind of because like the show doesn't seem to care about the mystery plot in the end.
It actually does.
It does and it doesn't. Like it feels like to me it feels like it addresses it because it set it up.
Right.
And nothing else.
So it has to pay it off.
It seems more obsessed with paying everything off that it set up, no matter how dumb.
Right.
Like every single character has a story and they finish that story.
Right.
Some are anticlimactic.
Right.
Like the comedian. I thought his story was kind of anticlimactic.
Which comedian though? Because there are two.
The washed up one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then others are like extremely climactic.
Right.
Like the weird super fan who just goes on this ridiculous thing. Like if you think about it from his perspective, he's just like meets idol, wins the lottery, goes on bank heist, saves idol, starts a new life as a millionaire, backs up mysterious taxi driver man, and secures network connections with the police and the mob.
Yeah.
He starts as just some dude and he ends up as like one of the most important people in the city.
Yeah.
It's this ridiculous story.
Yeah.
And the other people just have these really mundane stories. Like
the social media guy who just learned to not be so cocky.
Yeah.
And self-important. I think it was his whole thing is the story of self-acceptance.
Yes.
Yeah. That was big for him.
Yeah. Were there any stories that you liked?
A lot of the stories you mentioned, I do like in the end. Again, like when they actually hit the switch and focus more on the plots,
right?
More than because the initial character building is really dry. But I think when there was one episode where they, I think it's 4 or 3, maybe episode 4 or 3, where they go more into the angry monkey guy, the heel monkey, pathetic monkey, and then they showed more of him and Otokawa in the car, and they started talking about the plot, basically. Then that catches my attention.
Okay.
And I think from then on out, it was a bit easier to watch. And then it gets easier and easier all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, for me, I was definitely more interested in the different stories than the plot.
Yeah.
because I was like, the murder mystery is okay, but it's like generic.
Yeah.
But the different stories were kind of fun.
See, the different stories, I like the different stories only when there's that plot that drives it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, the characters themselves are not enough to drive it for me.
The nice thing about the plot is that it interweaves them together.
Yes.
Which makes you feel like they matter.
Exactly.
Whereas in the beginning, it's just kind of like, what is this filler story you're throwing?
Yeah. That plot is a point of focus that allows you to care about the other section. Which makes that one episode about the dodo bird guy felt so what the fuck am I watching?
That's kind of why I like that one. Cause I remember I was watching that with my girlfriend, right? And we were sitting like, does this what's going on?
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, it started out with the fucking eraser and then a dodo bird. This guy has some sort of inferior complex.
Well, okay, so in anime, this is like a common trope where or a storytelling trope. So like they'll set up a story or like a flashback that's meant to tie into the main theme.
Okay.
So as a seasoned viewer, I'm sitting there like, all right, so okay, nerdy guy, he's getting picked on. He's throwing himself into video games. Where are they going with? And usually it's like part of an episode.
Yeah.
There's crazy examples where sometimes doing a whole arc, but in a tight show, it's like part of an episode.
Right.
It was the whole fucking episode.
Yeah.
It was just a whole episode.
It was just a whole episode.
It was just a whole episode. You know? And I was like, what the hell? And they just do it like it's just a thing that they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're like, wait, where are you guys going with this? And then they just drop it too. Like also in anime, when there's a flashback, they tie it back.
Yeah. Well,
and they do tie it back.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't drop it. Well, what do you mean by it dropped it?
Like when you get a big flashback like that, you think he'd be like the main villain, or something.
Yeah,
but he's just another dude in the story. Like there's even a point where the main forces in the plot don't take him seriously until he whips out a gun.
Yeah,
and even then they don't take him fully seriously.
Yeah. Well, see, the more I see him, the more he's more like a
chaos factor.
I mean, he's a chaos factor, but I was thinking he's more like a Frank Castle in a Daredevil story.
Okay.
Where like he only shows up occasionally, but when he shows up, shit happens.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think in terms of story, I think they do put importance for him whenever he shows up.
Right.
Yeah. That episode on its own, I mean, it is an important episode because it then like tied everything back together. But
it's also just really fun. I think the thing that I ended up appreciating about it is like you understand his line of thought.
Yeah.
But everybody else is like, what the fuck does he care about this eraser? And it's just I always remember smiling like an idiot. Yeah. I was like, nobody knows nobody knows why he cares.
So to be fair, even when I understand where he comes from, I was still like, no, dude, fucking dropped it. It doesn't even fucking matter. All of the shit that he's mad about is very fucking petty.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting because for me, right, and this is kind of the annoying thing about those, the storytelling, because that I kind of agree with you on with Odd Taxi, where it kind of picks on young people a lot, like just the narrative messages.
Yeah.
Like the big dumbasses of this story, quote unquote, are like middle-aged people who want to use online dating, portrayed in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Like the worst version of that.
Yeah.
Then there's the young, up-and-coming social media influencer.
Right.
The most obnoxious version of that.
Yeah.
And then you got this guy who's playing MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Worst version of that.
Right.
But I did relate to getting very attached to a fictional thing.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, right? You know I'm into Pokemon.
Yeah.
I loved my Pokemon like they were my actual pets. Like I got so attached to them. I made up because in Pokemon they're just like sprites, right?
Yeah.
But the franchise gives you enough to go on.
Yeah. Like
in the TV show that accompanies it, Pokemon all have their individual personalities.
Right.
And they write characters for these Pokemon. In the game, they have personality traits.
Yeah.
Like impish or shy or happy.
Yeah.
And through the gameplay, there are these stories in which you can kind of characterize them that the franchise just does an amazing job with, right?
Right.
So I got to the point where like through a combination of the gameplay, my own imagination, and like the TV show, I really started to think of these things as like I guess
the living world. Yeah.
And they were kind of imaginary friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unlike like actual childhood imaginary friends, they were physical objects I could carry around, which made them feel even more real.
Right.
And I remember there was one time that me and my family went on a trip. We don't go on trips often.
Yeah.
But we ended up I took my Pokemon with me. We got a rental car. And I left that damn game in the rental car.
Oh no.
I know.
Damn.
And I was moody. I was furious. I was depressed. Like that thing took me over. And it wasn't just like for the day or the weekend. It was like years.
Yeah.
Like I would have little bouts where I would like when the new Pokemon game would come out, I'd be like, I don't even want to play this thing anymore. Like I can't do it without my boys. And then I'd be like, but I want to play Pokemon. And then I'd get depressed.
Yeah.
Because I remember that I effectively murdered my Pokemon by losing them in this rental car.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I ever like gunned someone down.
Yeah.
You know, and like run up, but like I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I felt for the guy.
Yeah. You went through the same emotional drama that he was going through. The only difference is that you had emotional support that he did.
Well, the other interesting
as well.
Well, yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I had, for example, my sister who understood. I mean, parents don't understand why you're but and that's kind of the other thing, right? That I get is like there's like a level of further isolation that I understand him having.
Yeah.
Because nobody gets why the fuck he cares so much about this dodo bird.
Right. Or the eraser.
Or spend
I don't know. I'm gonna say just thousands of dollars just because for my point of reference of his dad's money to get on the fucking eraser and beat up for it.
Yeah. But I mean, I got it. It was just I don't know. It's just, like you said, I think they did just shit on new people. But once you get over that, it's like okay, this is fun.
Yeah. To be clear, I did have fun with those characters. Yeah, but it was very exaggerated.
Well,
not very exaggerated. No. It was exaggerated to make the point.
Yeah,
the characters.
Yes,
there you go.
That's also kind of why, though, I like the more like I really like the comedian story. For example, I love the comedian story.
Yeah,
it's this really real thing of this people who are trying really hard to figure out a good balance between their career and their friendship.
Yep,
and it ends up being really sobering.
Yeah. How did that end again? Because they had the final.
So it was like
a final contest, and then arguing.
This is how I understood it. It was like, so my idea, the fat one, the older one, picks up the young one, in as a comedian duo,
right?
But while they had a lot of promise as a duo, they sucked. But the fat one, playfully, of course, would always shit talk the young one and be like, bro, your comedy's trash. Why don't you work on this more? And the younger one was like, man, I don't want to have to try that. Like, this is extra. I don't want to spend my whole waking hours doing jokes and stuff. That's too much. But what ends up happening is that the young one ends up becoming more popular than the older one. So he gets picked up by a TV news network, and they passive aggressively, in that traditional Japanese businessman type way, try to get him to drop his boy. And then, you know, he tells, like a good friend, he tells his boy this, and he's like, well, I don't know what to do. But I'm thinking about turning him down. And then the older guy feeling guilty for holding him, like, is this weird combination of he feels guilty for holding him back.
Right.
But he also is like feeling some type of way because he's not experiencing as much success. It's not like they broke up where he got picked up by one company and the other guy got picked up at another company.
The other one just doesn't get picked up?
Yeah. You get the feeling that it would be the tone would be different if that's what happened.
Right.
But it's just one of them is seen as washed up and the other one is seen as good. And there's also this idea of, oh, well, he does work harder. Why isn't he getting picked up? And it seems like a lot of it is he's more younger and marketable. And he spends the whole show kind of meditating on this.
Right.
And it's funny because the younger one ends up picking both. Tries to have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the older one is like, look, you need to move on.
Then the young one also was telling the old one that he was going to break up after the last show anyway.
Yes.
And that broke the old one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it looked like, at least in my opinion, I interpreted it as it was dumb. Like, I don't understand why he was doing this. I think it was kind of extra. But it looked like he was trying to be mean. He was trying to break him off to make the separation more emotionally validating for him.
Right.
Rather than, because I think the idea was it's too painful if it's so bittersweet like this.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to make it bitter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that, which is dumb.
Yeah, honestly, so my interpretation of that was, it felt like he was, so to me, it felt like he did not want to keep dealing with the old guy, keep shitting on him.
Right.
And like trying to hold him back.
Right.
And that was out of his own frustrations.
Right.
Because, right before that, the old guy was still shitting on him.
Right. Even though he was doing good.
Even though he was doing good. And watching that scene, I was also feeling like, I would probably tell him to fuck off too.
Well, but don't you remember? There was also like a really sweet heart-to-heart between the two of them.
That was after.
Oh, okay.
That was after the final show, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because at the final show, they try to stick to the script and they start shitting on each other. like for real shitting on each other. But then they do have the heart-to-heart.
Okay, where the guy's like, no, look, man, I was just feeling.
Yeah.
I was just feeling my feelings. You're a good comedian, dude.
Yeah.
Go do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it does end a little bit nicer.
Right.
Than I thought it did. And
I mean, is there any kind of shit for the old guy though? Because all he got was
friendship.
I think everyone has their like final scenes when Otogawa does the car over the bridge.
Yeah.
And all he got was nice view of the car. It's just almost down.
I remember the big joke was he was having a big climactic scene.
Yeah.
Where he was talking to his friend about like
trying. Oh, and he got interrupted
by the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What? I'm being interrupted by a car."
So like that dude just takes L's. And the one time he wanted to take L, did he get shot?
No, that was hands down one of my favorite scenes in the show. Is that he's like the guy sticking up the crazy guy who wants to race him. He's sticking up the whole thing looking for Otogawa.
Yep.
And then the comedian's like, "Looky here, man, you can't just do that."
Yeah.
And then he just shoots below him or like just above his head.
Yep.
And he passes out from the sheer shock of it.
Yep.
And then when they wake him up later, they're like, "Yo, he had a gun. Why did you do that?"
Yep.
And then he looks at the guy. He's like, "I thought it would be a good story."
I thought it'd be funny if I get shot. To be honest, I went through two emotions. Right when he stood up to the guy with the gun, my initial reaction was like, "Oh." My initial complaint about how this show is a little too self-aware. That was my first reaction. I was like, "What the fuck are you? Why is this show trying so hard?" And then I did end up appreciating that. I thought it'd be funny if I get shot. Yeah.
Well, I just remember me and my girlfriend were sitting there like, "You dumb motherfucker."
Yeah, me too.
This is not that kind of situation. This is not that kind of show.
Yeah.
You're not a superhero. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
You won't die.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, he didn't even die. Stupid. And then when he said the line, I was like, "Nah, I appreciate it."
Yeah, so it sounds like we went through the same emotions.
Yeah. That was good too because the best part was they have a follow-up scene for that where he tells the story, and it's not funny.
Yeah.
And so like it wasn't even worth it because the story ended up being kind of garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they even point to it in show, like it's not even funny in world.
The idol story actually is also more captivating than I initially thought it was.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do like the idol more than the comedy show.
Okay.
Just mainly because of how they portray the idol characters. Because they're like popular on TV, but one is low-key running like the drug thing or like the gang thing. And she basically catfished the pathetic dude into. Why did they capture him? In the first, because
money.
They thought he was gonna be rich, but
yes.
he was gonna be poor. Yeah. And I don't know if because they portrayed that character as like initially it felt like she was a victim to the whole drug gang thing, but then as it turned out, she was also like how to say it. she wasn't. Like she was all in for it.
Yes.
And the only reason why she quit was because she didn't want to dealing with people like him. Not because she felt bad.
Well, man, I have so many feelings about that arc because I actually like it the least of the arcs.
Yeah.
And actually, it's more for what you were talking about. I thought like the comedian story and even the dumb, I'm going to shoot somebody for a goddamn eraser.
Yeah.
I thought that stuff was more grounded, but the idol stuff was so over the top. Because like, it's also kind of tropey too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know about the idol industry in Japan?
I know some stuff about it and how they're like, they're just kind of slaves.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you get the gist, right?
The gist.
So a lot of anime, like there's two ways you'll see idols in anime. Right? One is they're just idols.
Yeah.
And they're in their most perfect form for you to eat them up, and you don't have to worry about the slave labor because they're cartoons. Right? And you can just go in the fantasy.
Right.
And then there's like some shows that choose to criticize the idol industry.
Yeah.
And there's some things about this portrayal that I really like. Like, a lot of the discourse around that is, oh, these corporate bastards are enslaving the idol industry.
Right.
The idols. But this show makes a pointing out that the idols are, like, hungry for power.
Yeah.
Well, even the ones who aren't, like, there's one that's evil, right? Just straight up evil.
Is it the main one? No, it's not the main one.
It's the backup dancer.
The backup one is straight up evil.
Is just straight up evil.
Yes.
But
that's one of them actually supportive.
One of them supportive, but she's kind of dumb. You know, like she doesn't realize that that whole thing was happening around her. Like one of them was manipulated just outright, and that was the wholesome idol.
Right.
And
well, the wholesome idol was the one that died.
Well, I was thinking about the one that's dating the comedian.
The one that's dating the pathetic guy.
Yes.
Oh, the pathetic.
No, who's dating the young comedian?
Is there one that's dating the young comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, the leader. Okay, yeah.
And then there's one that's like ambitious and has a lot of self-loathing issues.
Yeah.
And feels like the only way to stay in this industry is to be a useful tool for the mob.
Yeah.
You know, there's this aspect of, hey, you have a part to play in perpetuating the system, kind of thing, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, did there have to be like a whole gangster operation though? Like y'all couldn't think of a different way to portray this criticism of the idol?
See, I like that though, because again, it ties in, it allows the story. Well, I mean, they could tie it to something else, but if they didn't do anything that's related to the main character and the main plot, I would not have cared as much.
Right.
Because, the plot is the driving force of the story surrounding for the characters.
But, like, to me, it went from... Because this is like it's like a slice of life show, right? It's just supposed to be about following characters' lives. It went from slice of life show to, like, Daredevil Arrow Idol edition. You know?
What's wrong with that?
I was just like there was just straight to the point where Onikawa was just like, he just became Arrow. He's like, I'm gonna make a list and I'm gonna take down everyone.
You know, I was gonna scream that was great, but no, I'm gonna take that was a little too much for me too. It's like, how is this fucking taxi driver being the fucking detective? The fuck?
But like it was like, well, that wasn't a problem, right? I like the idea that he was taking things into his own hands.
Yeah.
But he was so fucking good at it.
Yeah. That
I was like, now he's just a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is getting a little, you guys should tone it down a little bit. And he's like, he has this like fucking 4K strategy where he like outdoes everyone he's talking to.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. And again, it was kind of fun while I was watching, but then like when I was thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of extra, wasn't it? Yeah. It was kind of extra. But it was still fun.
Right.
And that's like kind of what I mean by it's mixed. It went from like low key to over the top.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah. Thinking about that statement, I want to say that I compare it to Sandpaper, so it does start pretty low key because I was going to say that it's also kind of always stepping over the top, but that's not true.
No. I mean, there's an over the topness to the dialogue, I'd say.
I don't think so. I mean, the dialogue sounds... It's pretty grounded.
it's pretty punchy though. Like nobody's that witty. Like everybody's very unrealistically witty in that show. You know, like Odokawa with his back and
Odokawa with
his dry
for making the show self-awareness thing that I've complained about. Yeah.
And then other characters, like there's just like a punchiness to it, which I actually really like. I like the punchiness. That's kind of what sold it for me in the beginning. Because I was like, ooh, this is very fun.
Yeah.
Like these guys are very like.
Yeah.
Everybody has like a snarky remark to everybody else's comment, and there gets to be this point where it feels like everybody's trying to like out to each other.
Yeah.
And how like snarky they can be.
Yeah.
Which is very fun, except for the doctor. The doctor doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The doctor's like very chill.
Yeah.
Which is also what makes it kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like,
it makes it different.
Yeah, it makes it different because everybody else is like snap, and then he just rolls with whatever is thrown at him.
Right.
Like the good scene where he's like Bruce Springsteen.
I knew you were gonna bring that shit up.
It's so dumb. And he just kind of goes like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just rolls with it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of snappiness, we got the little Sonic guy who just raps.
Oh yeah, he's so good. I remember my girlfriend hated him. She was like, he sucks.
Yeah.
Why does he keep rapping?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's so good.
You know, I think my initial reaction was similar to her. But then like over the course of the show, I'm like, you know, it's very impressive how they managed to like rhyme with everything because he never missed a rhyme.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't even hate that. Like, to be able to rhyme that well in so like vast different circumstances.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
I do also like the gimmick that when they finally beat him, he stops
rhyming. That like the big fall for his character. I do like that too.
Yeah, like the guy like the guy looks at you, he's like, oh shit, boss, you stopped rhyming. And then the guy's like, shut up. And then you sit there and it's this great like, oh shit, they really got him. He stopped rhyming.
Yeah.
It was a very good gimmick. It was very clear that they really liked that character.
Yeah.
That they were having a lot of fun with him.
They did.
Yeah. What did you think of the monkey boss though? The monkey gangster, the gorilla, baboon. The baboon.
See, I don't remember much of him.
So
I remember he showed up like once.
No, he was big. Because he was the goo. He threatens Odokawa. He drags Odokawa into the gangster fight.
Oh wait, he wasn't. He was like a doggo. I think he was a doggo. He's the manager for the idol, right? Oh,
no, different guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna retell the story for the audience, and then you can stop me when you've caught up.
Yeah.
So at some point, I think in the first episode, you see a picture. You see him in the picture.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's working for the mob, looking because there's a bunch of different parties, right?
Yeah.
There's the police.
Yep.
Who are not doing their job and covering up the murder mystery.
Because one was being manipulated because he trusts his brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the corrupt brother cop is going around looking for evidence so he can destroy it.
Yeah.
And then the mob is looking for evidence because leverage is nice.
Yeah.
And the dog man is looking for evidence so that he can also destroy it, although he doesn't really know that it exists.
Yeah. For
the first part of the show. And Odokawa is complicit because what happens is the baboon monkey thing, whatever animal he was, figures out that Taxi has the camera.
Yeah.
Could have a recording of what happened to her.
Yeah.
So he tries to shake down Odokawa.
Right.
But Odokawa is too depressed to care.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't give a fuck. You can kill me. Yeah, you remember that now, right?
Yeah, I remember the character. He constantly shows up at the spa, right, with Odokawa. He's the one with the tattoo?
No. Oh. That's the walrus or something. The
walrus is Odokawa.
Yeah, okay, but there was another beast-like thing like that. Or maybe a hippo or something. He was the big gangster leader, right?
Yeah.
I guess the baboon also talked. But he would order Odokawa in the taxi to shake him up. Whenever.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah.
And they have this very antagonistic.
Okay. Yeah, no, he was a monkey. That's right. Right. See, when you say monkey, for some reason I was thinking of an ape. But
right. Well, I mean, he was kind of an ape. If he was in real life, he'd be a big boy.
He's okay, but he's a punchy boy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. See, not having names is very difficult.
It is.
But yes, him. He was interesting. He was a fun character.
Okay.
Overall.
Okay.
Yeah. because like he low-key turned into like a friend of me.
Yes.
Very fun. Like they one night just sit and have beer.
Yes.
And talk about the evil plans and Odokawa in the back of his head. I'm gonna betray you, motherfucker. You're so good. It's like a weird plot of him slowly turning to Odokawa as like a companion.
Right.
And Odokawa the entire time just put on like a wall.
Yes.
Yes. To let him get to him.
But like I do love how like when there's this point where he acts all threatening, and then once he realizes the threats aren't working, he starts like trying to get to know Odokawa. And like at first you're thinking, oh, he's trying to get to know him for leverage.
Yeah.
But then you realize like, no, he thinks he's cool. Like he kind of wants to get to know him because he thinks he's like kind of high.
Yeah.
Like you get this impression that he's really like actually trying to make friends with Odokawa.
Yep.
And Odokawa's like, no, fuck this guy. He held me at gunpoint. Like,
well, initially it was for leverage because remember he was threatening the sheep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Odokawa spends the show trying to get rid of the leverage. Like, he pushes her out of play because he's like, well, I can't do anything while you're here.
Right.
Although he does it in the very like noir, like, I'm too dangerous. And then she's like, not too dangerous for me. That kind of dumb thing.
Yeah, but he does it in a way where he actually says, you're too dangerous for me. So I'm out of here, bitch. I don't want to deal with your bullshit.
I love Odokawa. Odokawa is like, I think that the thing I really love is like, I never had any idea what he was going to say to anything.
Fair enough.
Like anything. Whenever there was a situation, all the situations he was in were very tropey.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily that he would say the opposite.
Yeah.
But he would subvert what you think he was going to say.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that, like what you're talking about. No, you're too dangerous. You're weird. I don't like you.
Yeah, I don't like you.
You're suspicious. You're kind of sus.
Why? Get off me.
You know all my medical information. That makes it even worse.
Yep. Yeah, no, I do like how Odokawa handled that situation. He did not simp.
Yeah. He was like, get off me, bitch.
And he also went in and actually managed to get her off of him as well, which is nice of him. Yeah. But the monkey guy himself is fun. He has a weird face turn when he taught the social media guy
if you didn't bring it up, I would have.
Of life.
Yes.
Of self-acceptance.
Wasn't that a weird moment?
It was a really weird moment, and he steal his motorcycle out. As a payment for the lesson. He's like that's like a good mix of like. So in wrestling, they would call it a trainer. Okay. Where when somebody who's not fully afraid of you, and he was just pure trainer, like, yeah, I'm gonna do you good here, but I'm gonna steal your shit, boy. I'm not actually good.
But it's really good because it starts off as like this thing. Because like I remember going into that confrontation, I was like, man, that social media guy is dead.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I was like, there's no way he's coming out of this alive.
Yeah.
Like, Odokawa doesn't give a shit enough about him to save him.
Yeah.
And everybody else wants that guy dead.
Yeah.
Because all he was doing was talking shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, he has the monkey. And the monkey's got his gun.
Well, he got the gun.
Okay.
He got the gun, but the monkey got the fist. Dude, he fucking fought a polar bear. I was like, he fought a fucking polar bear. I was like, holy shit.
And won.
And won.
He says something to the effect of like, that's always why you were a bitch, man. That's why you were his number 2 and why you weren't my rival, bitch.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to the monkey man, and it's not the monkey man, but the social media guy.
Yeah.
And I remember. See, it's been a while, and I didn't watch for this episode.
Yeah.
But I remember that it was this bit where he goes up and doesn't he like beat the shit out of the hippo?
So the hippo thing. Yeah, it was the hippo who shot him initially. So he was also wounded, but yeah. And then actually, I don't remember whether the hippo ran out of bullets or he just caught him.
No, I think he ran out of bullets.
Yeah, okay, so he ran out of bullets.
He ran out of bullets, and then he goes up, and the hippo's like, oh, shit, now he's going to beat the shit out of me and murder me for sure.
Yeah.
But instead, like, he does go up to him, like he's about to beat the shit out of him.
I can't remember if he actually laid some hits.
I feel like he punched him, like, once.
Yeah.
Just to be like, that felt good.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, now what do I do with you?
And then the hippo started crying like a bitch.
And then he's like, and I remember because it was a good moment where I guess to him, the fact that he was a bitch completely deflated the beatdown.
Yeah,
he wanted him to be like a big bad.
Yeah.
Like he was scared of the hippo.
Yeah.
To an extent. And when he realized he was a bitch, he's like, damn it, now I can't even beat the shit out of him. And so he just kind of sits down and he's like, all right, look, man, let me tell you something, man. Like this person that you've been trying to tell everybody you are, it's not real. Yeah. He's just something you've created in your head. Like, it's unhealthy. You have to learn when to live in reality. And he was like, okay. Yeah. And he's like, good. Now, like, I want you to do something. It's gonna help everything go away. And it was like, yeah, okay. He's like, give me the gun. And then take the thing and break it. Break it. Free your spirit. And then the hippo does it.
No, well, before that, I think it wasn't the gun, it was the phone.
Okay, he's like, give me the phone. Yeah, and then he breaks the phone. He's like, fuck the phone.
Yeah, but before that, he was sort of like, hey, also make a video admitting to the world that you're a bitch.
I know, it's so good. I don't think the hell's like, how's that gonna help? And then, like the baboon's like, I mean, it's for me. That one's for me.
Yeah, it helped me. Yep.
But break the video. That will help. Like he's like, destroy it.
Yeah,
that's for me and you. Mm-hmm. You know, and he does it, and you can tell that it's like this big first step for him.
Yeah.
And he sits there and he has this triumphant speech.
Yeah.
About how he realizes his hubris.
Yeah.
And how he'll never do this again.
Right.
And like the music is swelling, and it's this big moment for this character. It's basically the end of his arc.
Yeah.
And then the monkey's like, wait a minute, give me your bike. I don't got no ride, bro.
And then yeah.
And then as he gets on the bike, he's like, you've done good today. I hope you have a nice life. And then he just drives off with this guy's bike. It's so good. It's so good.
That was very good. I did like that scene a lot. That whole interaction was very good.
Oh my god! Like I was like, okay, this is like that for me. I didn't care what happened with the rest of the show.
Right.
That was the moment that show was great to me. was when that interaction happened. It's like for me, as you know, right? Yeah. We talk about this when we talk about Justice League, which we'll talk on the podcast, but Justice League podcast. But like character interactions, in media are the most important thing.
Right.
Those are the things I liked about The Flash.
Yeah.
When you recommended me that.
Yeah.
That's what I adore about Justice League.
Yeah.
And that's what I love in Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Is those character interactions.
And
Arcane. Yeah. Arcane also has great character interactions. And that was like peak character.
Right.
It's so good. Because it was like so I felt like a real thing.
Yeah.
Like it was this perfect combination of like stupid shit and mundane shit.
Yeah.
And then that little bit of life that makes it meaningful.
Right.
All swirled together in this great in-character bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It was so good.
Yep. I mean, I think that's what makes that monkey character an engaging character, because that's most, if not all, of his interactions is like that.
Right.
He just kind of draw all the character in, and it has like genuine interactions with them. Like, you know, as we said with Otokawa, where he was being genuine and Otokawa was being a fakey bitch.
Yes.
In the situation. Yeah.
You kind of feel bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I did too. I was like, this dude's gonna have a beer with you, man. Yeah. I mean, I get it because you're doing the right thing, but man, damn.
Yeah. No, I was like, damn, bro, you could just talk to him about this. I had this feeling of that he was like, look, after this job, can we just never do this again? And I like just over like a beer.
You're right.
And I feel like the guy would be like, you know, man, you did help me out. I don't want to involve you with any of this.
No. That was already the agreement.
Yes.
I think with Otokawa, it's just this like sense of self-righteousness is
but that. You got the feeling that the monkey wanted to use him in the gang.
Yes and no.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, yes and no. But yeah, I think towards the end, I think the monkey himself was convinced that this was going to be a one-time job. So I don't think, like, when they had the scene where they both are doing the, you know, like, when they kind of have talking over a beer, I I think the monkey was convinced that Otokawa was one and done.
Right.
But I think Otokawa was doing it for one, self-righteousness. Two, because he's petty and he wants to get revenge for the sheep girl.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just all Otokawa.
I was in Otokawa's situation.
Yeah.
I would have just hung out with the guy after that. I would have been like, "Hey, how's the crime going?" like.
Yeah, but if you're also Otokawa, you won't be able to because you'll be hanging out with him in jail.
Well, assuming you get the job off.
The job off?
Like you get away with it.
Yeah, but if you're Otokawa, you wouldn't let that him getting away with it.
Yeah. That was his thing. He's like, I don't want to commit a crime. Like,
right, exactly.
I have to be shoehorned in this situation.
Right.
I'm going to out them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, that was the only way. That was honestly the only righteous way out anyway. Yeah. Was to out them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're an accomplice.
He did the right thing.
Right.
But it made him very shitty in that like scenario.
It was. It was terrible. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get revealed. He's gonna go to jail. Why the monkey guy gonna go to jail? Good boy.
Yeah. Even his interactions with the crazy guy was great. He was like, he has no more bullets left. I win, bitch.
And then doesn't he get shot?
Then he got shot. I don't remember whether he missed count or something else happened. It was one extra bullet.
It was I thought it was that the shooter felt the gun chamber himself or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Or it might have been that he just miscalculated. Yeah. Which also was a good bit.
I remember also liking the scene because it's tied to the dumb eraser.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah, because he's like he has the eraser.
He has the eraser.
And then the guy's like, you motherfucker. Yep. All of these years. And the monkey's like, what? Yep. He's like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, you ruined my life. And then he shot him. And the monkey's like, eh. It's great too because Otokawa's like, oh sweet, he's not mad at me anymore. Yeah. I'm out. And Otokawa just dips. Yep. Because originally he was after Otokawa because Otokawa killed his new thing. Yeah. And then he was like, you're the reason I'm in this situation. And then it's just like, I don't remember. But I had this feeling like the monkey was hoping that Otokawa would care about him more as a friend. And be like, no, bro. Yeah. Just live or something like that. Yeah. But he's just kind of like, bye. Yep. Yep. I'm glad that it's revealed he didn't die though. Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, I was also like, it'd be pretty lame if that guy killed him because he's supposed to be like this hard ass gangster dude who beats up polar bears. I mean, bruh, you can be a hard ass if you get shot in the heart or the head, you just die. Yeah. So, it's true. Yeah. What about okay. What did you think about the twist? The twist was. I like the twist. Okay. Mainly because at the end, the final episode, it has a very big stylistic change. Right. That I did not expect, but I appreciate that. Okay. Just more from the art standpoint. Right. I do like that they just decided to. Well, they had the art style change that was not out of place. Oh. Yeah, because the art style change makes sense. Why they would do that. And then it was a very big art style change too. Right. Which they managed to tie that with the story, which is a huge plus for me. So art-wise, I like that. Okay. Story-wise, it also makes sense too, especially for Otokawa character. Yeah. Because they made a big point about his memory and how he remembers people well and whatnot, and it ties all of that back very well. Right. Because when I was watching the show, and every time they make a point of that, in my head I'm like, I mean, it's obvious. Like, why would it not be obvious? But then, and then later the review happens and you would go, oh, that's why it's not. Right. Yeah. The only exception to that is with the monkey guy when they met in the restaurant and monkey was like, how do you recognize me? But, because of his monkey head. And right. But when they revealed who he is as a human, I still recognize you when you wear a mask. You have the fucking giant mohawk, a red mohawk, and you were wearing this fucking shitty coat everywhere. Yeah. So anyway. But the twist, I like. There's some stuff that still doesn't make sense, like how the girl was able to kick down a window door underwater, and it made sense when she was an animal. It would have made more sense when she was an animal than she's a human. Right, because with a human, you're like, you can't generate that much force underwater. Yeah, you don't have that excuse anymore. Animals can do that.
See, I don't understand enough about animals to say whether that's true.
Yeah, plenty of animals could do that.
I don't know for that particular one.
I don't know for alpacas either.
Yeah.
I don't know if alpacas can generate enough force to break
glass underwater.
Glass, like a car glass.
Yeah.
Like maybe other types of glass. I don't know about car glass.
Yeah, exactly. But since I don't know about it, I accepted it. But now she's a human. That's kind of far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think about the twist?
I loved it.
Okay.
It was very fun because when I was watching with a girlfriend,
yeah,
it opens. I always remember how it opens because of how like she reacted.
Yeah.
So it's like he says like, ever since I've been a kid, I've always wanted to be a walrus.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah. And she just keeps going on this little monologue.
Yeah.
And she's like, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And as I kind of realize where they're going.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's like she just keeps going, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's all fake.
Yeah.
And he just I really like it because it's not just like a twist for a twist. It's a twist that really helps you get into the POV of Odokawa in a way that a lot of shows can't get you.
Right, right.
Because when somebody says you're at like literary analysis, when they say you're experiencing the story from their point of view,
right?
The most you can do to articulate that is like, directors will frame the story visually, from their point of view, like with camera angles and the way certain characters are made as imposing or whatever,
right?
But I mean, you realize that we've been kind of watching the world in the Odokawa filter.
Yes.
And it was very immersive for me.
Right.
And then when he talks about his childhood trauma, you feel that.
Right.
You feel the way that it changes his worldview.
Yep.
Because you see that change.
Yep.
So I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
It really added to his character. Like as a nitpicky dude, so I was like, does that mean you wanted to be a walrus and then like tap an alpaca?
Why not?
That's weird.
It is, but why not? He's a weird guy.
Yeah, he's no judgment. But it's just one of those things that just makes you think. It puts you a little too much in his head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's cool.
You brought it up. I also do like that the episode spends time building up to the twist and not just throw the twist at you.
Yes.
As for the sake of a twist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's foreshadowed very nicely.
Yeah.
Like if you go back, there are just signs of it. Like specifically with the doctor character, they point out that like he makes a lot of weird remarks whenever he refers to people's animals.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, what? A few times.
Ah, okay.
Or like he calls attention to the fact that like he's like, hey, what do I look like? What does she look like?
Yeah. Oh,
and just
I do remember that scene there.
Yeah, he'll keep pointing it out through the show too.
Yeah.
Because he's just sort of trying to figure it out way before we even think about
it. Right.
And he is ultimately the one who shows it to us.
Right. Yeah.
Like if he didn't figure it out, the filter wouldn't have gone down.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
He's very corny though.
Yeah.
What did you think of the gorilla character since he was so important?
I like him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's your everyday man, everyday doctor guy who tries to do good. Actually, in his reactions to finding out that his assistants were stealing shit from him, it's also very
interesting.
Right? Yeah. I mean, his reaction generally was very noble and understanding.
I kind of felt that because, like, it felt like a teacher who realizes that you're cheating on the test, and then it's just like, I mean, I know it's happening, but I also understand the grind.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, the system ain't fair, but I'll let it happen, I guess.
It's not that he let it happen either. He is willing to protect her from it.
Yes.
By closing down his shop for a bit of it. Yeah.
Okay. So pivoting away from the doctor, right? What did you think about the opening?
I skipped most of the opening.
Did you watch it towards the end?
I watched it with you guys when I saw it.
Okay, but you didn't watch it at any point after.
I did. I did watch 1 or 2 episodes after that.
Did it change?
It kind of capitalized it's like a weird summary of the story of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't notice anything in particular?
No. Okay. I'm going to go on a limb and say no. It seems like you're leading to a point.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so one of the biggest plot points in the show is in there, which is what's in his house. It's just the dumb cat. It's the cat.
And that's the dumb cat at the end of the OP.
So the opening was just the backstory behind what was in his house.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here, this will be the first time we do this. We're gonna do a live reaction.
We're gonna watch, and talk about the OP.
We're gonna watch and talk the OP of Odd Taxi.
That's why you guys kept telling me to keep
watching.
And I did. I watched it. This is summary of the thing.
We're gonna watch the opening. Here we go. So here it is.
Okay.
And so this is it. The idea here, we're paused in the first frame, right? It's a shot of Odokawa in the car. And this bit is the start of the story.
Okay.
I try to narrate it so people can follow along. Just chilling, probably on one of his drives, drinking juice.
Yep, that's the cat.
There's the cat. And so it's cool because it kind of distracts you from the story.
Right.
So you don't notice that it's just spoiling that plot point.
Right.
Gets you a shot of the different characters.
Yeah.
All cheering to the beat. A little bit of symbolism.
Yep. The rap guy.
And the gangster. It's going to come back to it.
Yeah.
I think. Unless that was just it. It might have just been that. That might have just been it. More symbolism.
Yeah, some more symbolism. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
No, there we go.
Yeah.
And there it is. And he put it in his house.
The scene was Odokawa's head with the sliding doors.
The sliding doors.
And the cat was chilling in there on the back of his head.
Yes.
What is that?
They finished telling the story with the symbolism of the head.
Yeah.
So, and that's why you didn't connect the dots originally. Because what they do is that it was just the imagery of, that's the same drawing for the door. Yeah. And they put it in the opening. Yeah. And then they put the cat in there.
Yeah, they put the cat in there.
And so the thing that he's constant, and it's also great because there's a double metaphor there. Because what he's always thinking about when he goes home is the cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super good.
Huh.
I don't remember if there was more in here. I want to make sure that we're...
Oh, yeah, I missed that completely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always the great thing about anime openings. They're fun to watch just because you're like, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? I know some people were saying, so the last shot we're looking at is of the cat walking out into the darkness.
Yeah.
And I know some people were saying that this also tells what the ending was.
Okay.
This last shot. But...
Oh, yeah, that's the shot of the human.
Oh, yeah, the human falling in the water. And I think we were saying that because he drives off into the distance, he lives.
Who? Odokawa?
Yeah, because remember the killer ends up taking Odokawa's taxi at the end. It's like the last shot.
Oh, huh. I thought
they don't catch her.
No, but I thought it drowned to his taxi went into the...
Did you see the final scene? Where it's in the real world and the girl's bragging about how she won and yada yada yada, and then she gets in Odokawa's taxi.
Right.
There's two kind of interpretations.
Okay.
One is the story continues, and Odokawa uses the information he's gathered to bust her.
Okay.
The other is that she kills him.
Huh.
Because he's the last loose end.
Right. Oh, huh.
Yeah. But
okay.
The idea is because this opening kind of tells the whole story.
Yeah.
And he drives off.
Yeah.
That he lives.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I thought the final scene was a flashback to how she killed the thing.
Because she was sitting there bragging about what she had done.
Right. Well, because...
And how she fooled everyone and nobody caught her.
Right, because it was showing earlier that the supportive member of the idol just died for no reason. Because in the story, because one of the cats was gonna go there and kill her, but when she got there, she was already dead. Right. There was no reason why she was already dead, but she was. Well, I thought
the reason she was already dead was because that girl murdered her. Right. And so that she could get into the idol.
Right. And that's why I thought the final scene was showing. Right. Was showing that murder happened.
Well, no, it was her essentially. I think she hits up somebody. I don't remember who. And she essentially brags to them that she managed to. Yeah. She's doing well. that her plan to murder the
Yeah.
the pop singer to get into the band worked.
Yeah, that was the final scene, right?
Yeah, and then as she's talking about that, she hangs up on the phone.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Hey, Odokawa, take me to whatever."
Yeah. So that
But that wasn't the original person. That's just
that was the replacement.
That was a replacement.
Yeah. So that's what my interpretation of the final scene was. Which is that.
Okay.
Nothing more. Yeah.
Oh,
which is like a flashback to what happened.
Okay.
Of like why the original singer died, or how the original singer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So in fact, we're good, right, wrong word, more like exposition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
That did get a reaction out of me. I'm like, oh shit.
And then you also saw
everything up.
And you also saw the bit where it shows that everybody's actually humans.
Yeah.
And that one symbolism shot where he's falling in the water.
Yeah, falling in the water. Yeah.
That's why I watch anime.
It's 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I mean, as a side, I wish they did
It's the same thing.
More with
every episode.
OPs.
Because
I wish American OPs. Like I remember back in the day, you were like, Arrow's opening is so good, and then it's just Arrow. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, okay, whatever.
No, I never said Arrow opening was so good. I said Daredevil opening was so good.
What's Daredevil's opening?
It's just cool. It's cool art. It's cool liquid simulation.
I need more
art simulation. Art good.
This is like a whole skit.
Art good.
The skit.
You know what? And then I have starting to appreciate that live action doesn't do openings anymore. Okay, doesn't do jack shit.
I wish Arcane had openings.
I jump straight into the story.
Arcane would look with an opening. Ugh. Imagine that art direction for an opening. Come on.
I mean, yes.
Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm not denying it. It would be a slap. But I'm also okay not having it.
I want it.
Straight into the story.
I miss it because that is like, it gets me in the mood, man.
I got in the mood the moment I pressed the play button.
I didn't. It takes me a little bit, actually.
Okay.
Unless it's like, unless I'm binging it.
Okay.
Then I'm already in the mood because I watched the whole episode.
See, that's the difference between you and I. I get into moods really easily.
Okay, I live a chaotic life, man. Like
me too, bitch.
Well, going back to the show.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts? Summing everything up.
It was a good show. It was an entertaining show. Thought of dry, but ended up pretty good.
Would you watch
another anime?
Yeah.
No. Unless I have to make another Devil's Deal.
This could happen.
It could happen.
Why not?
I don't know.
Tell the viewers.
I'm not interested in the anime world.
Why?
Bias.
Okay, explain that. Explain it to the
I don't like. Okay, there are tropes in the Odd Taxi that irritated me, right? Like with the doctor. There was one scene. I didn't want to mention it because it's nitpicky. I know it is.
Of course it is.
But it frustrates me. But like he was talking to his, I don't know, like neighbor, mom, godmother, or whatever that woman was to Odokawa. And then like she was, kind of drilling him. Like, you're drilling me right now. Why don't I anime in public? She was drilling him about like why. I think she was saying like why he doesn't drop the case of Odokawa and whatever. And then he just go, because he's my friend. But like, he started screaming, and I was like, why do you fucking have to scream? You didn't have to scream. This is such an anime thing. Stop screaming.
I find that funny. I mean, not to invalidate your bias here, but my bias against live action is the opposite. I hate whenever there's a serious dramatic moment and they're like, I need more. Yeah, because she's my friend.
No,
the dumb low growling.
That's Arrow bullshit. I like it.
Okay, but it's not just Arrow.
Okay, all right.
It's a trope in action shows.
Okay.
And it's a trope in serious adult dramas.
Okay.
Like maybe it might not be like
yeah.
It might be like the woman will go from like passionately speaking, which to me is more like realistic, right? Like when I'm heated and whenever I've seen anyone heated, they're like, you motherfucker,
Yeah.
But then they'll be like, you gotta be kidding. Like they lower their voice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird.
Huh.
I don't like it.
Huh.
And it's I don't know if they do it for audio quality or something.
Right.
But the way the voice is made dramatic is just it takes me out of it sometimes.
Okay. I mean, that's the same thing for me with like how anime. It's like,
Well,
they just started screaming. I'm like, stop fucking screaming. You don't need to fucking. You can just say because he's my friend. That's it. Normal tone. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to scream. Why do you have to scream? But yeah.
To be fair, that one's not even that bad. I thought he was being pretty calm for anime.
I know. I know. I've seen some Dragon Ball Z.
Well, actually, Dragon Ball Z, when they do delivery specifically like that, they actually do it very like soft. Believe it or not,
weird
for Dragon Ball Z specifically.
Weird.
But then if you get like JoJo's, not only do they scream during dramatic moments, but they scream during normal conversations.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah. I like, for me, I'm like, I mean, if you're gonna scream and you want to scream I'm down with that.
I'm just like enjoying the thing, and it's suddenly just go.
It's same logic with like Arrow for me, right? Like if you got a low brow, do it all the time. That's what. that's like when Green Arrow is just like always being like, Felicity, and then he's like, I gotta feel this city, and then turns around and he's like, I'm gonna break every bone in your body.
So you're basically just describing Christian Bale's Batman.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it all the time. I can't have you like talk like a normal person and then you become Christian Bale. I can't deal with it. I guess I get your complaint for the Monkey Man.
Yeah.
It's the dialogue. I mean, the dialogue's fairly normal.
Yeah, it was normal up to that point. And then he started yelling.
And then he's all of a sudden he's in an action show. I mean, again, that's kind of my problem with the end. But like, you know what I mean? I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it in the opposite direction. I can't deal with it. That's why I can't. That's why I have not returned to Breaking Bad because they do that shit.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
they totally do it.
Yeah,
you know, he's talking like a normal person.
Yeah, and then when he gets dramatic, he goes. Yeah.
And it's like I'm like, okay, buddy, just be mad, dude.
Yeah,
you're literally a drug dealer.
Yeah,
drug dealers yell at people.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck Walter White, though. Yeah, fuck Walter White. Maybe Jesse and I should do a podcast about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, look forward to that, guys.
Maybe. Yeah.
Odd Taxi good.
Odd Taxi good. Me watching anime in the future, I would say no, unless another Devils do.
Make him do it for the podcast.
No.
Comments.
No.
Upvotes.
No.
Let's go.
There's nothing you can touch me, viewers, to make me watch another anime.
There's got to be something. You guys are smart. Come up with something. We believe in you.
I don't. But yeah, thanks for listening.